Good evening, guys. Is it evening or what? But that doesn't matter. Welcome to my YouTube channel, guys, again once more. Thank you guys for those that are supporting my channel. Right, today guys, we're not going to do much. We're only going to look at the debtors control and the debtors list. Questions are very short. Right, I don't want to waste too much time talking, but let's dig into what is it that I have today, guys. Right, in front of you guys, these are the questions that I have just prepared, guys. Short questions, guys, but a lot of knowledge, trust me, around these questions, guys. So I've prepared these questions, guys, because my focus now is on reconciliation, guys. I just want to cover all the concept under reconciliation. So as I've done with the bank reconciliation, so now I'm going to focus on the debtors control versus the debtors list. Remember, the aim here, guys, is to reconcile the debtors list and the debtors control. Right, so without any waste of time, let's check the information given. Right, if we check here, they say the debtors control account and the debtors list below was prepared by the newly appointed bookkeeper of Lotisto. A number of errors and omissions have been noticed. So immediately, guys, remember, if the debtors control is reconciling with the debtors list, there is no need to prepare to correct them because the balances are the same. But now, because they are errors and omission, it means the balances are not the same. Let's check. According to our okay, let me add my pen here. Okay, let me add my pen because I was not using a pen here. Okay, so for that, okay, if we check at the, let me see, pen. Okay, it has to be somewhere here. Right. If we check at the balance of the debtors control, look at the balance. The balance at the end of the year is 30,286. This is what we the debtors control is saying. But let's look at the debtors list. According to the debtors list, the balance is here is 32,000, of which the two are not agreeing on how much the balance in the debtors control and the balance in the debtors list. They are not agreeing. The aim here is to make these two to be the same. So according to this, they are not the same. That is why we have to reconcile. Right. If we check our questions are saying prepare the corrected debtors control account. Right? And the second question says prepare the correct debtors list. So guys, when you see a question like this is how you're going to approach it. Do you see these two questions? You can answer them simultaneously. Understand, guys? When you look at these errors and omissions, they are not only made on the debtors control, and they are not only made on the debtors list, but they affect both the debtors control and the debtors list. So what you do, you throw all of both of these accounts so that you see if error number 1 it is affecting only the debtors control, you focus on the debtors control, you correct the debtors control based on that information, right? Then if information number 2 it is affecting both, then you deal with these two accounts at the same time. I think that makes sense, guys, but I will show you what I mean. Right, let me remove this so that when we go to problem solving we can see this, so that they don't distract us. Right, so I will simply go and throw our accounts at the same time. Right, let me add a page here. Right, the first one is the debtors control. Right, debtors control. Right, I want to do this. Okay, I want to push it, I want it to be big so that everything that we do, the calculations, they are visible, right? Okay, then I want to do it here. I want to do the debtors control there only. Then here I want to come and do a debtors list, right? So debtors list, guys, I'm going to do one account. I'm not going to do a 2-column account. So I'm just going to do 1-column account, guys. I'll tell you why. Later on. Right, let's go back to the information now. We want to see, according to this information, guys, we are not going to work with these things, guys, they come later on. We work with this, we work with this information. But first, what are we going to do? We're gonna go to our debtors control and check the balance. Remember, this account, it must start with the balance, no ways. But don't write the balance, the total. We're not going to write how much is our balance. We're only going to check if there's any error and omission, an error on this account. But if there's not, we leave it. But for now, this is what we're going to write, right? And then we go to the, let's go to the information. I want us to work with the errors and omission line by line from 1 up to 6. Right, number 1, we start with the first one. It says G doctorate account of 2,687 was written off during May 2001. He was traced and the amount owing by him was recovered. However, the amount was wrongly recorded in the debtors control column of the cash receipt journal during 2019. Remember, guys, let me go to the account. Which account is affected right now? Remember, guys, if someone is owing us and then we are no longer able to trace that person, we write it as a bad debt written off, right? We write it off. We make it our expense. Is that clear, guys? Because we were supposed to receive that amount, but that person, we are no longer able to trace that person. So what do? We write his amount off. So what do we do with such person? We remove the amount, then we make it our expense. But now we were able to, the person we were able to trace him, and then the amount that he was owing us as it was received. But look at what happened. The amount he was traced and the amount owing by him was recovered. However, the amount was wrongly recorded in the debtors column of the cash receipt journal, right? So how do we correct such an error, right? So if you check here, if you look at the debtors list, do you see this person? He is our debtor number 4, right? So look at these two amounts. Right? So credit, it means minus, right? So his amount was minus. So what do we do as a business now? We must write him off. So when we write him off, look at what we are going to do. We're gonna come to our who is this person? It's G right. His amount, it was negative what? Negative 2,687, right? So his amount, it is recovered. So what do? We add it. We add this amount because it was cancelled. Understand? So we bring it back. So when we bring it back is a plus on top of what? Of a negative, right? 2,687. So if you check this person, we traced him back. We wrote off 2,687. So now we recover 2,687. So now is this debtor still owing us? This debtor is no longer owing us. So his account now is having a balance of 0 rand. So this is how the information now is affecting the debtors list, right? Right. Moving forward, now we go check. Where do we go now? We go into our debtors control. we go into our debtors control. So if you look at our debtors control, they say the money was recovered, right? However, the amount was wrongly recorded in the debtors control column of the cash receipts journal during July. Are we clear? So what are we going to do now? Now we're gonna go to our sundry accounts. Remember, in here we summarize the accounts. We cannot have a lot of accounts here. We cannot, if we're gonna have a lot of accounts, we just try to do this, to write the sundry account, so that all of the amount that we receive, or if these people they are retaining the goods, we cover them under the sundry account, because we are avoiding to have a lot of accounts under the debtors control in both sides, in the debit and in the credit. If you check, we are also having the sundry account in this. Understand? So we are trying to avoid having a lot of accounts. So this amount of the 2,000, we must now look at the balance before, that our bookkeeper have calculated. So when the bookkeeper, after doing his errors and omission, he was having the balance of the sundry account of 1,200. Now we are now going to take this amount, we are now going to edit in what? In the sundry account as 2,000, not 800, 2,687. I will say guys, why? This person, he was owing us, we wrote it off as an expense. Now the person was traced. Now he is paying us. So what does it do? We are bringing the amount back because it was taken out as an expense. So now we must bring it back. Remember, if we record it here, remember it was taken out. This 2,000 in the previous years or wherever months, it was taken out as a negative. But remember, this amount, that time we didn't receive it. It was a bad debt written off. So now we are receiving it. We are cancelling it. We are eventually cancelling it in the sundry expense in the credit side. Clear? Right. So moving forward in this account, this is what I want to do. Okay. Sundry account, we're going to have 1,200 plus 2,687. 287, right? So this account, this error and omission, we are done with it. Now we can move to the next one. Right, we are done with number one, right? Number two, it says the total of the sales column in the debtors journal was overcasted by 250, while the total of the debtors allowance column in the debtors allowance journal was undercasted by 80 rand. Right. So what do we do? If they say it was overcasted, it means they have recorded more. So what we have to do? We have to reduce the more that they have added, right? So if you look at the sales, that means this 45,190, it was more with what? With 250. So what should we do? We should simply come to the sales here. Let me leave a space so that if there is any sundry account, then we are allowed to have a space, right? We simply come to the sales. How much was it? It was 45,190. And then because it was overcasted, then we subtract 250. Now my tablet is disappointing again, right? So the information was simple. straightforward, so there's nothing else that is affecting this information from here up until here. It is only talking about the sales, right? So when the information continues, it says, while the total of the debtors allowance column in the debtors allowance journal was undercasted. So immediately they say undercasted, it means this account, they have recorded a less amount. With what? They have recorded the less amount with 80 rand. That means this account of the debtors allowance, it must go up with how much? With 80 rand, right? So I will simply go to my debtors control and have my let me write debtors. Yes. Okay. Debtors allowance. So how much was the debtors allowance? Let's go back and check. The debtors allowance, it was 2,228. 2,228. And she said this tablet, it cannot write too nicely. Right, so we are going to add 80 rand, right, because it was undercasted, right? So information number 2, it only affects the sales and the debtors allowance only. Then we move forward, right? Let's look at number 3. Number 3 simply says M. Malinga returned goods to the value of 110, but the bookkeeper incorrectly treated this as a credit sales and posted accordingly. Right, guys, with this one, remember guys, immediately a credit sales is issued, it means we as a business, we bought goods on credit. Are we clear, guys? So our supplier is going to issue us a credit note, right? So now this person, this amount of 110, it was meant for credit note and a debit note, right? Remember, a debit note is issued by us to our supplier when we do what? When we return the goods. But then in this situation, it is us, right? So if you check, Malinga is our debt. That means Malinga returned goods to us, right? So when he returned the goods to us, this amount of 110, it must be cancelled in our books, that he is no longer owing us an amount of 110. But look at what our bookkeeper did. Our bookkeeper recorded this as a credit sales. Remember, a credit sales simply means that now what Malinga was owing us must go up, right? So that means the account of Malinga went up by 110. It went up by 110 instead of going down by 110. Already the 110, it is recorded, and it's recorded accordingly. Are we clear, guys? So this transaction was treated as a credit sales, right, by our bookkeeper. So look at what we are going to do. We will go straight to the debtors list, right? So who do we have is M. Malinga, not Dr. Malinga. M. Malinga, right? How much was Malinga owing us before? We have to check that. Malinga was owing us 3,445. 3,445, right? So look at what we're going to do. He's inside this 3,410. They have already added 110, right? Instead of subtracting, but they have added. So what do? There are two mistakes. Actually, there's one mistake that we have to correct, and the second term we have to record this amount correctly. That means we record two things. We correct the mistake, and then we record the correct account, right? So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go to his account and subtract the 110 which was added. Again, that means now we have cancelled the credit sale. Now let's record the returns. Then we again subtract 110. Then here is someone who can say we only subtract 220. We're subtracting 110 times 2, which is 220. Right. Now we go to our debtors control. Now in our debtors control, we go to our sundry account in the credit side. Right? So our creditors, our sundry account, it was 974, right? 974. What is going to happen to this account? Right? So in this account, we remember we are subtracting. So this amount, before these corrections that we are doing right now, it is included in this amount, in this account, right? So we are now going to start by cancelling the 110 which was recorded as a credit sales. Remember, the credit sales are recorded on the sundry account on the debit. Clear? Because they increase what the person now is owing us, right? Again, now we are also going to add 110 as this person is returning the goods. The sundry expense recorded on the credit side of the debtors control, it is decreasing what our debtors are owing us. Simple as that, right? Now we are done recording the account of Malinga. Now this is how the account of Malinga is going to be treated. Now let's go to the next error, which is number 4, right? Stock was sold on credit to A. Hendricks for 1,681. This was entered correctly in the journals but was posted to his account as 1,861. Right. So this one, if you check who made the mistake, the amount was supposed to be the stock sold on credit to A. Hendrick for 1,000, but this was entered correctly. This was entered correctly in the journal but posted to his account as 1,000. That means his account was overcasted. Are we clear? So we have to undercast it now. So how will we undercast it? We're gonna say 1,000. We want to see the more they have recorded, 1,600. If you look at that, they have recorded more instead of less. So that means his account must be decreased with something else there. 1,681. How much is that? 1,861 minus 1,681. So it was overcasted with 108. So where do we go? We go to the debtors list. We're talking about A. Hendricks, right? Yeah, A. Hendricks. So A. Hendricks was owing us how much? We go to the debtors list. He was owing us 9,861. 9,861. So what do we do with this account? We simply subtract 108 and we are done, right? Then let's move to the next one. Which is number 5, an EFT for 779 which was incorrectly credited to the account of G. Dwyer, and a 5% discount had been allowed to him. This EFT was in fact received from the B buyer whose account was written off last year. And if you check this person, he is no longer appearing in our books because already we have written him off, we have cancelled him, right? But this amount, it was not recorded to his account, so it was recorded to who is that person? G Dwag, right? So this amount, if you check, it is an EFT. That means our debtor was paid, right? That means in his account, in G Dwag's account, we have subtracted this EFT. But bear in mind, there is a discount which was given. So the amount that was paid, it was not this amount. You understand? This is the amount that was cancelled, but this is not the amount that was paid. There is a 5% discount that had been allowed when this person was paying, right? I will explain this when we go to the debtors age analysis, because it talks more about such transaction. When the debtor is paying early, we give them the discount. I will clarify that when we come to the debtors age analysis, right? Just keep on my YouTube videos. That video, it will appear maybe tomorrow, or I don't know, but it will appear soon, right? So what are we going to do? We're gonna let me go to a clean page. Let me add a page. This amount is 779 rand. So this amount, there is a discount that was subtracted. So now we want the initial, we need the discount which was subtracted. Remember, this amount already, the discount is out. There was 100% amount. There was a discount of 5% which is out. So the amount that we are remaining with is 95%. It is no longer 100%. Okay, so the discount is how much? Is 5%. So now let's find out how much is the discount. We're gonna say, let me cancel this. We're gonna say 5 over 95. What did I write here? 5 over 95. Because this amount, it is the 95. It is no longer 100% because the 5% discount is already allowed, right? So if we say 779 multiplied by 5 over 95, we get that the discount which was given is 41 rand. Clear? So that means the amount which was subtracted now is how much? Is gonna be like this. Are we clear? So when we go to his account, we go to the account of who is this person? Is G Dwyer. How much was he owing us? 14,000. We must increase it. We must increase it. G, is it W? No. D, okay. He was owing us 14,069, right? So his account will go up by, remember, it was recorded as an EFT, so now we are taking it back because it was not belonging to him. So we take everything back to his account, plus 41, right? Then let's go to the next transaction that is affecting, right? So now we go to the debtors control. In the debtors control, it means we have recorded in the sundry account in the credit side because someone was paying, right? So now we are taking it back. When we take it back, we cannot edit here again. We come to edit in the sundry account on the debit side, because now it increases what people are owing us. Simple as that. 779 plus 41, right? So that is how the account has to be recorded. Now we go back. This is number 5, it is done. Then let's go to number 6, right? If we go to number 6, they say on the 31st of July 2009, Benza provided proof of payment for a direct deposit of 4,000, but this was incorrectly omitted. If they say it was incorrectly omitted, it means the error is that they did not record this amount. So what do? Let's go to correct it. Somehow they jumped it or something else, but they just omitted it out here. So they didn't make any error. Maybe to record it this side, more of what they omitted this amount. So let's go and record it. Right. If you check, this is Benza. He was owing us 5,000. That means they did not record the 4,000 that he paid. So let's go to the debtors list. He was owing us 5,436, right? 38. 438. So we subtract here how much? Because it's an EFT, that means he paid us. So we subtract 4,000, right? So now we go back to the debtors control, right? So what do we do? What do we do? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Are we clear? The bank, remember the bank, it shows us people are paying us cash, right? People that are owing us now, they are paying us cash. So we simply take those amount inside the bank immediately. So the account affected here is the bank, right? So nothing else. So that amount is affecting the bank. What must happen to that bank? Our bank, it was 28,000. Let me check again. 28,654. 654. Right. So what is happening? Let me remove this. The twos. This I don't know what is happening with two. Okay. Is 28,000. This is supposed to be 8, and then a 2, 28,600, and this. Then we add 4,000. So guys, if you check, I have dealt with all of these errors and omission. I didn't do any total. So now what we do, it is our time now to conclude our accounts and write the totals, right? So let's start with the debtors control. So in the debtors control, let's go back and check. The balance was not undercasted or overcasted. So we are going to take the balance the way it is. 17,000. Here is the balance. 17,514, right? Let's go to the debtors control. 17,514, right? So the sundry account, let's add quickly, is 1,200 plus 2,687 plus 779 plus 41, which gives us 4,707, right? 707. Then the sales is 45,190 minus 250, which gives us 44,940, right? Then let's come to the debtors allowance is 228 plus 80 rand, which is equals to 2,308. And then let's go to the sundry account is 974 plus 110 plus 110 plus 110. Okay, then it's equals to 1,194, right? And then we go to the bank is 28,654 plus 4,000, which is 32,640, 54, right? But if you check, guys, not all of the accounts had the errors and omissions. Look at this. We never talked about the discount allowed, so we simply take the discount, and that means everything was okay with the discount, right? So the discount allowed, everything was fine. So how much is it? We go to check it back. It was 1,702. Hey, okay, 1,000, not 700, is 1,662. 1,762. All right, so this is everything under the debtors control. So now we check which side is big. Looking here, we have 17,000 and 44,000. Already this side we can see that is big. The debit side is big. So let's add everything in the debit side is 17,514 plus 4,707 plus 44,940, which is equals to 67,161, right? So obviously this side, it must also be 67,161. So how much is gonna be our balance carried down, right? So we're gonna say 67,161 minus 2,308 minus 1,194 minus 32,654 minus 1,762. So we get that our balance carried down is 29,243, right? So this is going to be our balance brought down on the next month, right? So next month when we do our books, is going to be our opening balance. So let's go conclude the debtors list, right? So our debtors list now is, documents we are done. Let's go to Malinga. Malinga now is going to be 3,455 minus 110 minus 110, right, which is equals to 3,235, right? 235. And then A Hendrix is going to be 9,861 minus 180, right, which is equals to 9,681, correct? Right, let's go to the last, the next one is G Dewa. Then is 14,069 plus 779 plus 41, which is equals to 14,889. Then let's go to E Benza. Is 5,438, right, minus 4,000, which is equals to 1,438. Now let's go check if there is someone who did not have any errors and omissions. If we check, we have G Doega, Hendrix, Malinga, Docrats, and Ebenza, so everyone is covered, right? So let's calculate this total. This is the balance as per debtors, as per debtors control, right? Let's add everything down because there is no one that we are writing him off or the one that we owe now. 3,235 plus 9,681 plus 14,889 plus 1,438, right? So the balance here is 29,240 3. I'm doing this, I'm changing the color here. I want to show you something. You see this balance, guys? You see this balance? We must not force it. I want to write 2 here, but this tablet is failing me. So this balance, guys, you don't have to force it. Calculations must make this balance to be the same as this balance. Look at this. Look at this. The balances are the same. So that means we have reconciled our debtors control and our debtors list. Right, guys, this is the end of my lesson. Right, guys, if you have any question, write in my comment. And again, guys, I am available to anything. If you want to do one-on-one sessions, I'm available. If you want to do online sessions, I am available, guys. If a school wants me to come and see their learners, I'm available for that. So communication, everything is negotiable, guys. See you on the next one. Have a good one. Thank you.